Welcome to Dropped In, Megan. I am so excited to drop in with you today and talk all things that you are a master of.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks so much for having me as part of your podcast today.
My pleasure. So, I always love to ask my guests to share who you are, what you do, and why you're obsessed with what you do.
So I'm Meagan Buggey, and I have a digital advertising agency. So we primarily focus in meta ads, funnel strategy, and I kind of got into this because, I mean, as everyone knows, when you become a mom, everything becomes so hectic. I honestly don't know how parents have two parents that have 9 to 5 jobs. Like, it's insane, right? Like, drop off, pick up, all of the activities. And I was just kind of trying to figure out with my life kind of what direction I wanted to go that would give me the flexibility to not miss all of those moments of my child growing up, right?
Mhm.
And so I started doing meta advertising and I absolutely fell in love with it. It was one of the first things I tried, but I love that it's like analytical and creative and all of the things. And I've always grown up with like really powerful women in my life. And I have two little girls and I want to show them that no matter what, you can do anything if you don't give up. So it's been this whole journey and I'm just, like, really excited kind of for what the future brings and to, like, show my girls that anything's possible.
Mm, full body shivers right here. That's profound. How old are your daughters?
They're 4 and 7, so very little. We were just talking about having the second one when I started my agency, and first year obviously was, not the best year because I was learning all the things, but I just didn't wanna go back to work after maternity leave, like, with 2 kids, it's hard. Props to all the parents out there doing it, but it was too much, like, I just didn't wanna have to miss out on all the special moments, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, 100%, 100%. And what a blessing that you're able to do this work. And I don't know how you do what you do. I can't wait to learn more about this work. And where
Yeah.
were you 3 years ago when I needed you, when I lost my Facebook and my Instagram?
Oh my gosh. I know, I wish I could have helped you, but yeah, like, after a year, it's so hard. I reached out to so many people, and I was just like, "Ah, we can't get it back."
No. Yeah. It's gut-wrenching. I know I remember my Instagram, I woke up, I'm like, "What is happening?" Like, my whole nervous system, and we're gonna drop into this because 'cause I'm really excited to hear about your angle here, but my whole nervous system felt like just completely shot, and then a few days later, I had invested so much time and energy when I was younger building my Facebook business page and my Facebook group, like, thousands. My business page, I had, like, 50,000 people, and
Ugh.
to wake up and to just have it completely gone, it's just like it sounds foolish and silly for those that aren't in this world, but it's detrimental to your business.
It really is. I think, like, I've seen this happen before for people, and honestly, like, for me, if I lost my page, I'd be like, "Oh, well," like, I have 1,700 followers, but, like, a lot of my business comes from referral sources. But
Mhm.
for a lot of people in business, that is their bread and butter. That is how they're getting in front of people, and it's also why I think in marketing, it's so important to have an email list, because if you don't have that email list, like,
Yes.
at any point in your social media journey, it can just be gone in, like, an instant, so
Mhm. Yeah, it's so true. Email is king, and I wish I listened to that advice when I first started because I was like, I personally don't enjoy emails, so I was like, "Oh, I'll get the emails." But I mean, I have been building my list, but had I done that when I first started, it would be a lot different. So,
yeah.
I know you're passionate from what I understand from what you shared is that, the work that you do specifically is, like, supporting individuals in releasing that form of burnout because I just alluded to the burnout that can come from it, so let's drop into that because it's so necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I think as business owners, a lot of times we just do all of the things, right? Like, we're everywhere, we're saying yes to everyone, and then we wonder why we're exhausted and, like, why we can't manage to grow our business and why, like, our nervous system is just, like, in constant fight or flight, you know what I mean? So, I think too is when we're in that kind of headspace, we make frantic decisions that aren't always the best for our business.
Mm,
Like, I think it can be like a really, really hard thing. So my whole thing is that, there are tons of people that will build their business on organic. The thing is if it's working organically, if you put money behind it, you're just like literally pouring fuel on the fire. And I also think that, like how you were saying about all these followers, there's a lot of people building their thing like for the vanity metric. And like for you, you probably had a following that was like of the right people because of how you built it, right? Well, a lot of people just care about followers. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, like I was making six figures with 300 followers on my page. It's not about that. It's about reaching the right people.
mm,
So with ads, you take that content that you spend hours creating and you put it in front of the right people.
mm,
And I think that is where it's helpful to like, because if you're not visible, you're not going to make sales or you're not going to get clients, right? And so instead of being on all of the time, you create very specific content and then you put money behind those pieces to the right people so that you don't have to be on social media 24/7 because the people that are out there doing that, I mean, props to them, but that is a lot of work to grow organically. And so I think there's this like happy medium. Like, do you need organic? Absolutely. Do you need paid ads? I mean, I think anyone that has a business should be putting their content or their products in front of the right people. And it doesn't have to be this thing where you're spending 24/7 trying to do the right posts, the right content, stories, all of the things. It's just about being like, hey, I'm still here.
yeah, 100%.
So,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
getting into the space of the right community too, right? So, I'm curious because I know I've boosted posts before. So, what's the
Mhm.
difference? Because I know that there's a significant difference. So what's the difference between boosting a post and, like, ad spend?
So one thing I'll caveat this with is that if you would have asked me a year ago, I would said, do not boost posts. Like it's just throwing money away. You're basically just putting your post out there to more people, but not necessarily the right people. I think now the algorithm is getting better at finding the right people. There's just been so much shift in the algorithm, and I do think like there is a time and place for boosting. Having said that, it is not the same as running ads. So if you think about organic content and you think about paid, organic is basically it's nurturing your warm audience. Paid is going to a cold audience. That's very different messaging that you need to put out there, right? And so when you're running ads, even if you're pulling through a post or whatever, which is basically what boosting is, the messaging on that post might not be resonating with someone that's not as aware of you as your warm audience is, right? So in Ad Manager, you have more options for detailed targeting. You can really change up which placements you put them on. And you can also change up like the copy. Like you don't have to use exactly what you've put on social media. And it also gives you the option to really break down your metrics to see what's working and what's not working. And I think that's the key piece. Because if you boost something and you only get like a skim of what's going on. In Ad Manager, you can break down every single number and be like, okay, well, this copy didn't resonate, or they got to my landing page, but they didn't convert. So where's the disconnect? And I think that's the important part right there.
Mm, huge part.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
for someone that has no idea how to run ads, like, is it
Hmm.
possible for someone to do it on their own, or would it be best to reach out and connect with you and have them hire you?
Yeah. I mean, I'll always say hire me, but I do think there are certain things that you can do on your own. So, you know, definitely, if you're unsure of something, don't just click stuff. I've seen so many times. I actually had someone recently reach out to me because they'd set up their business manager incorrectly and then couldn't get all their stuff connected properly. And I think it's so much easier if you just set it up right the first time versus trying to figure out what you did and then fix the issue, right? So I just think like if you're ever at a point where it's like, oh, I'm unsure, don't click the button. And then in terms of running ads, there are some easy ads that you can run on your own. You can run DM ads, which are very simple to run on your own. But when you kind of get into sales ads and like lead generation ads, There's a lot that goes into that, and I think you really do need to track them properly. So, I mean, someone that doesn't know much about marketing might not know how to set up a pixel and how to track someone's journey, right? I
Mhm.
actually just like wrote a book on this because like I see this all the time, and I actually coach in a marketing program, and it's the same thing all the time. And it's like people will set up their ads, and the reason they're not working is it's the wrong campaign objective, or maybe they are unclear on their offer, and then they're like, oh well, ads don't work for me. Well, it's not that ads didn't work for you, it's that one simple tweak could have made that ad work for you. So I think it's just like really important to make sure you're doing it the right way instead of just throwing money away, because at the end of the day, like, not only is it a mindset thing, you'll be like, "Oh, ads don't work for me," and you'll never try them again, but it's also, like, stressful when you're spending this money and you're not seeing results, like, that is it's like gambling, right? You're like, "Oh, am I gonna
Mhm.
get my money back?"
Yeah. Totally.
So,
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah. So, is it fair to say that someone could invest, like, a small amount every day to build their ads, or is it a significant amount of money every month that one would invest on
No,
ad
you don't have
spend?
to spend a lot, and I think this is, like, one of the biggest myths kind of with ads is that, it really depends on what your objective is, right? So, if you are a service-based business, you're gonna spend different than someone that has e-com. If you are an online business versus like a local business that you have to go into the store for, you're also gonna spend more because there's different strategies. What I will say is that most people, unless you have high ticket programs or the cost of your item is very large, you can get away with, I mean, as little as I mean, if you're a local business and you're just trying to drive foot traffic, you could spend like $10 a day and it wouldn't be a big deal.
Right.
But if you're trying to make sales or lead gen, I would say minimum $1,000 a month.
Okay.
Um, but like, I look at things and I'm like, whatever the cost of your product or item is, if you can at least spend half of that a day, you're probably in a good place.
Mhm. Okay. Very cool. So let's say
Mhm.
someone is just I'm speaking to some of my mastermind people right now that I'm supporting.
Mhm.
A lot of them we're getting them to start to create these freebies to build their email list.
Yeah.
Now, what would be a good number for someone if they wanted to invest in ads for that? What would be a good number that's realistic, that's achievable for someone that's just getting started?
Yeah, so typically what I do is I reverse engineer. So, I would say for the most part, like if you have a PDF type freebie and it's not a video training, $5 and below per lead. So how many leads do you want? And that's what you spend. If you've got more like a masterclass webinar video training, you could pay up to $15. So I usually say 10 to 15 for video trainings, ideally less than 5 for non-video trainings. And then you just kinda think to yourself, "How many leads do I wanna bring in?" If I wanna bring in 100, you just times it by 100, and that's what you're gonna spend, so
Right. Okay. Good to
so it's
know.
not pricey, right? Like, for lead
Nope.
generation, I feel like it's a really smart move because even though you're not maybe making your money back on the front end, you're getting the email addresses you're nurturing, and then if someone like you loses your social media, you have those people, and they say that I mean, I don't know what the stats are because 'cause I'm not, like, an email guru, but they say that about, like, 5% of people on your email list should be converting when you're making sales if you have the right people on your list, so it's all about looking at the future versus like, what are the ads making me back right now?
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Good to know. I will pass that on to them. So you alluded to your book. I would love to learn
Yeah.
more about it. When did you start writing it? And yeah, let's hear more about it.
Yeah, this was a crazy journey. So, like I was saying, I coach in a coaching program and I also do audits for people. And it's always the same things over and over that come up. And I was like, okay, like I feel like even people that know how to run ads make the same mistakes as people that are brand new. So I was like, how can we help more people? Because maybe someone wants to run their own ads and they don't want to hire someone, right? So I was like, how can I help more people do this, right? Like my goal is always like, if we've got like I want to help other moms have the life that I have, right? Where you can go and do all this stuff. And I'm like, I really love that. So I'm like, looking at all the things that come up. And so I wrote this book and it's called This Is Why Your Ads Suck. And it's like, I'm not trying to shame people. It's
No, it's
basically like
great.
me saying, like, hey, guess what? You're not alone. Like, lots of people's ads suck. Like, and it's not even that your ads suck, it's like the things that come before it, right? So, like, you might feel like you're bad at ads, but the reality is no one probably taught you how to look at them and read the data and build simple systems. Everyone always overcomplicates things. So it's really about helping women who are like sitting there staring at ad manager and they're like, I'm really smart and I am good at what I do, but I'm looking at this and I feel clueless, right? So um nobody wants to do all the things in their business. They don't want to become a full-time media buyer. So it's literally just like a step-by-step guide of all the things that I would look at um, before I would say it's the ads problem. So, from mindset to, you know, is your messaging clear? Is the offer something that your people actually want? Like, are you talking to a cold audience? And then like looking at the numbers in your ad manager and like how to set things up properly and, so I kind of go from like the very beginning mindset all the way through to like, now we're going to scale your ads and this is how you scale them.
Uh-huh.
So it's a good like 4 hour read. It's like a little kind of pocketbook. I like poured everything from like 5 years of knowledge and things that continually come up into it. And it actually took me from the beginning of November, I think, until mid-January to have my first round done. It's with the editors as of this week. My book coach is reading my manuscript this week. And then, I've already like decided on design and all that. So it's coming along and it should be out shortly and hopefully I guess 6 weeks for editing and we're good to go here. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah, it's been, like, super quick. Everyone's like, "Oh, yeah, it takes a year," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this," but it's like, I actually voice noted my book and then went back and changed it to, like, proper grammar because 'cause I'm like, "I need to just, like, talk this out," and I'm like, "I want people to feel" so it's like a ad bestie guide, like, that's my branding. So it's like, no nonsense, it's like, "You know what? This is exactly what it is, and, like, you might not wanna hear it, but, like, maybe it's this." And so it's fun. It's not a boring marketing book, which is another reason that I chose that title because it's like something that it's like it feels like your best friend sitting down and giving you the tea on something.
Yeah, so needed.
Yeah.
That's exciting. So we're like 6 weeks, 2 months?
Yeah, I would say like by the time design comes out and I like have the book in hand. I'm giving myself like an extra month in case anything happens. I would imagine it would be out by the beginning of July, actually. So, because like if they edit and then editing's slow and then like say production takes a while and then I've got the book launch. So, ideally it's going to be out in, 2.5 months, but I'm
Mhm.
saying July because, as business owners, stuff happens.
It certainly does.
Right? And I'm not gonna
Certainly
stress about it, I'm just, like, throwing it out there, and I'm like, "Alright, we're just gonna take our time with this," so
fun. Now, are we having a launch party?
yeah, I haven't planned it yet, I do have a wait list, though, and so anyone that signs up is going to get the book at the lowest cost that I'm allowed to set it for in Amazon, and I put it at cost so that I can the first 100 people that buy my book basically get it for free,
Nice.
and then, they also get a audit, like an ad audit checklist when they sign up for it, and I'll be giving, like, sneak peeks and, like, launch dates and all of that stuff. I've already actually talked to someone at Chapters about potentially having my book there in Nanaimo, so,
Nice.
so we're doing all the things, and then I just gotta wait for the big stuff to be done now, so
Well, this is exciting.
yeah, super exciting.
But are we gonna have an in-person book launch party?
Yeah, definitely I am. It's just not planned yet because 'cause I'm like, I need to figure out when the actual book is gonna be printed.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yes, I'm going to have a nice fun party. I'm probably gonna do it in Nanaimo, so you
I'll be
definitely
there.
have to come. And we'll make it fun, like a big bestie kinda theme
Totally.
and just like kinda like a networking thing, like a bunch of women entrepreneurs out there getting to know each other and,
Sounds good.
do all the things, so
Sign me up. Sign me up for the book, sign me up for the party, sign me up for all the things. I am gonna go off the cuff a little bit here from,
Sure.
this, but don't you love Megan? Like, I just feel like in Nanaimo, all of a sudden, like, where have you guys been? Like, I just feel like I've been doing this grinding behind the scenes for 15 years, and all of a sudden I'm like, there you are, there you are, like, everyone's just starting to pop up. Do you feel the same thing?
I do. So, I just did that woman of influence thing. I met so many wonderful people in Nanaimo, like so many inspiring stories, like just reading about these people and like it just like it makes you feel like when you surround yourself with people that are, you know, a step above you, it makes you want to be better, right?
And
And then I've been going to like some other networking events like you know, with Rise and some online events. And it's just so crazy with how many people now I've gotten to know in the community. Um, you know, like I haven't really gotten out because I work from home. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? I need to get out and meet some other people. And like, there's so many inspiring women in our community. And yeah, it's just like all of a sudden, it's like everyone I meet, I feel like is like has their own businesses, doing their own thing. And it's just really inspiring. So,
yeah, yeah, I'm, super stoked about it. I all of a sudden, I'm like, "Oh, going out for coffee dates with individuals and talking business," it just is so refreshing
yeah.
because majority of my friends and partners are across Canada. Like,
Yeah,
we're just virtual friends, so, yeah, it's nice to be able to do business and have these business conversations with individuals in our community, so I'm grateful I met
100%
you at
agree.
an event.
I know, and it's so funny because then I met you, and then I saw you at another thing, and
Yeah.
it's like it's so funny how, like, I feel like everyone kinda goes to the same things, and even when I've been out and about, like, I've seen other people or, like, I met another woman, who I was, like, talking about running ads for, and her husband messaged me, and I know her husband, and I didn't realize I knew her husband. He's like, "Oh, my wife said she met you at such and such," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what a small world." But I just feel like everyone's so connected and you don't realize it until you really get out there and start talking to people. It's such an
Mhm.
amazing community.
It truly is. And I love
Mhm.
too because I've been encouraged to run ads. I'm like, "Oh, okay, so I'm just gonna find somebody on Instagram and have them run my ads." But now I'm like, I know someone local. Support
You
local,
do.
right?
I
Yeah.
know. That's my thing too is like most of my clients are in the States because I work with like online coaches and stuff and like that's the primarily the people that come to me. So last year I opened up a local business branch of my agency and I've really been trying to work with a lot more local people. And actually like it's funny because, like, it's kind of a pivot from what I normally do, but I've just been having such a good time with it, like, you know, like, getting to know the businesses and the people and, like, learning so much more about the area. So I came from the mainland, so, like, this isn't even where I grew up, and then I moved here right before COVID happened, so then it was like, I didn't actually get out and meet people, and then I've been working at home, so then it's just, like, so amazing to, like, get out there and actually talk to the local businesses and, definitely gonna be doing a lot more of that coming up.
Mhm. Yeah. I love you. I I love you.
I
I love
love you
you.
too.
Ah, I love you and I love it. Yeah. Well, we'll be seeing more and more of each other because it's yeah.
Mhm.
For me personally, I'm like, it's so easy for me just to stay at home and work, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, it's also good to get out and meet new people." So, yeah, it's great. I think, one really key question I have for you, Megan, is I think for me, with the influx of people online now, like, specifically Instagram, like,
Mhm.
the algorithm's forever changing and people are blaming on the algorithm, but I think now more than ever, ads are so important because there's so many people online. Can you speak into that?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think, you know, we've got all these people that have, like, built this amazing organic community, and now it's like, you know, 1 month they're, like, crushing it, and the next month there's, like, no views, and then all of a sudden Instagram's like, "Well, we're gonna start supporting smaller accounts," and it's, like, kind of a roller coaster when you do organic, whereas when you do ads, like I said before, you're kinda taking that content and you're showing it to the right people, so even if you're doing awareness style content, maybe you're doing, traffic to your Instagram to grow your following, or you're doing video views for your reels, you get to choose who sees that stuff, right? And I think that is the key right there because it's not about how many people follow you, it's about the quality of the people and are they your right audience, and that's what ads do for you. They get your stuff. You're visible to the people that need to see your stuff. And I do think like so many people, in the last 5 years, it's been insane the number of people that have been growing their businesses online. And I think that you need to create stuff that makes you stand out and makes you say, okay, this is what makes me different. But then you need to be visible to the people that you need to see it. And yeah, I mean, it's insane. Like I have been testing so much stuff organically lately. And it's like one thing will hit and then it's like five things will miss.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of work and that's burnout. And that's like, oh, like I thought this was gonna do so good. So like internally, you're like, oh, like I'm not doing well. This doesn't like nobody
Yeah.
likes me. And it's like this whole mindset thing, right? And I think it can be hard. Like, it can be hard because you show up and you try so hard, and then I always say, "Okay, you had 200 views on your reel," and they're like, it's nothing." And I'm like, "Go stand in a room with 200 people."
Mhm.
Like, that is a lot of people, and it doesn't feel like it because we've been so um, sensitized or desensitized to the number of people because we're so used to people having like thousands and thousands of views, but it is still a lot of people, right? So, um, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that, but I do think like it's hard for people mentally, but when you put the money behind it and you get to the right people, it starts to feel good and it starts to take away that burnout feeling of having to
Mhm.
overproduce content all the time.
Yeah, so true, so true. I think if I zoom out, like, when I came into this world of coaching, I'm like, "So you wanna be a coach?" It's like you're wearing so many freaking hats, you have no idea
Ugh.
what hats we're wearing. And I know for me personally, like, I've struggled with social media because it's like the work I do is so intangible. I'm like, "How do I articulate the intangible work in the tangible world of Instagram?" It would just play havoc on my mental health. So, I
Mhm.
think it's another reason why people need to hire you, Megan, because you can help them with the mental health aspect of it. And I'm not yes, I'm being cheeky, but it's also very serious because I've struggled with my mental health and Instagram for sure over the years.
Oh, it's a big thing, right? Because I think, we think we're not good doing good based off other people's opinions of us, right? And it's become this whole thing now. Like, I can't even imagine what my kids are gonna go through, but it's like, we just think if people aren't watching us, they're not doing it. We're always sitting there looking if someone's liked or followed us. And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what's your cost per acquisition? Are you getting sales? Do people that you actually need follow you? And then I think too is like we really have to kind of take that break from like constantly looking at our feeds and just take a second and be like, okay, what's the pattern, right? Like, not like, okay, well, today it was bad, tomorrow it's good, and then all of a sudden I have another bad day. It's more about like, what are the patterns? Like, over the course of 30 days, what did it look like to you? And people just get so caught up in like right now and instant stuff, right? And
Yeah.
two, for you, like you need to sell your transformations. That's the difference. Like if it's intangible, it's like, what transformations do you provide people? Because it's like sometimes it is. It's like with organic social media. I always say this to social media managers, like they're like, "Well, I can't tell them ROAS, like I can't tell them how much they're gonna make." I'm like, "No, but you can sell it as a transformation. Like, I'm gonna get you in front of the right people, and if you're not in front of those right people, then how are you supposed to make sales, right?" And so it's about thinking about like what does it look like before, what does it look like after, and stop worrying about all the other stuff in between.
Well said, well said. And in the end of the day, it's just data, right? But it's like
Yeah.
we have attached so much meaning to it and we're chasing the dopamine hit. But if we just zoom out and just recognize it's data, like it's really going to allow you to continue to move forward and just support one person at a time. So,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
nothing to do with you, it's just a number.
100%. I could be here with you all day, Megan.
I know.
How can people learn more about your work and where can they find you?
I am always on Instagram, so, you know how us Megans have different spellings all the time, so I'm sure you'll put my link below, but I'm Megan& and Company, so at Megan& and Company, and then, if you want to get on my book wait list, it's just youradbestie.com/early access. And yeah, give me a follow. I'll follow you back. I'd love to hear about your business. And even if we don't work together, I always love connecting with other entrepreneurs and like hearing their journeys and making connections. So,
Love it, love it. I'll make sure it's in the show notes for sure as well. All right, one last question for you before we say goodbye for now. What is a message of hope you can offer somebody who feels like quitting or throwing in the towel?
oh my gosh, I literally want to quit 100 times a month. I think that it is about that zoom out, right? You got to know what your why is. And then I know this is something that everybody says, but are you happier now or were you happier at your 9 to 5? What does it look like in 5 years from now? And I know that you can't necessarily answer that question like at the moment, but it's like, what are your goals? And I think if we start acting like that goal is possible, it's always the people that don't give up that succeed. It's not necessarily the best person that succeeds. It's the person that doesn't give up, right? Like you see that in every industry. So I think it's sometimes like if you need a day, take that day, then get back on tomorrow and start again, right? And it's just about consistency and showing up for yourself no matter what, no matter how you feel. And it's okay to take a mental health day.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
important. So thank you for sharing that. You put in the reps and you won't fail. You won't quit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Megan. It was an absolute pleasure to be here with you today. And I can't wait for the community to receive all of your gold.
Thank you.